In this video, we're looking at my two favorite 16-inch laptops from 2023, the X16 from Asus and the Lenovo Legion Slim 7i. These laptops both come with RTX 4070s as well as the i9-13900H. Now the question is, which one has the performance you need for your workflow? We're gonna get into that in just a few minutes, but first we're gonna get into the usability and build quality of each of these laptops, as well as check out some of the main features that you'll be using on the day-to-day. Now let's go ahead and check out the build quality first and foremost. These two laptops are almost the exact same thickness and weight. We have an aluminum chassis for the Slim 7i and a magnesium alloy chassis for the X16. Both great builds, both sturdy. I really like the simplicity on this Slim 7i, however, though. You have this really nice aluminum band wrapping the entire laptop. You don't have a lot of the plastic ventilation aspects on the back of the laptop. It's just this really nice aluminum band wrapping the whole laptop. I just love the aesthetic of the Slim 7i. I think they do a really good job with it. Now, as we flip it over, the way that the bottom cover fits into the side panels, they do a great job on both laptops. However, you can see that there's a little bit of a catchy edge on the Slim 7i. This was a purposeful design nod for 2023. I wish that they would have made this a little bit smoother, but it's the design choice that they've made. I really like how smooth the connection is from the bottom cover to the side panel on the X16. However, overall, I like the design more of the Slim 7. Now, looking at the bottom cover, you can see we have one large vent, completely open vent. You can see both the fans there on the Slim 7, where we have three smaller vents for the X16. Both do a good job of cooling the laptops overall. Now, we do have speakers on both bottom covers of the laptops. However, there's an extra set of speakers on the top of the keyboard deck on the X16, giving you slightly better audio experience. So quickly, let's give you a quick sample of that so you can hear what it sounds like. Save an extra 6% on a Lenovo Legion laptop by heading down in the description below, clicking the link and using the discount code BENKAISER6. That will give you an extra 6% off even sale prices of a Lenovo Legion or Legion Lock laptop, and it's good till the end of the year. So head down in the description below, click the link, and use the code BENKAISER6. Save yourself some extra money. Don't even have to wait for the Black Friday deals. Now, opening and closing the lids is done easily with one hand. However, both screens are a little bit bouncy. If you want a less bouncy screen, I would probably choose the Pro 7i, a little bit sturdier of a hinge. However, if we're looking for the screen flex, the Slim 7 has a better, more rigid screen. We have a lot more flex here on the X16, so just keep that in mind. Now, we do have a ledge along the back of the Slim 7i. I love that these illuminate, so you can quickly see which ports you have back here. Super nice. I like that little touch with the 7 series. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ports while we're thinking about it. For the X16, we have a micro SD card reader and two USB Type-Cs on the right side panel, and for the Slim 7i, we have a SD card slot and a manual cutoff switch for the webcam. On the left side panel for both laptops, we have two USB Type-Cs for the Slim 7i and a headphone jack, whereas for the X16, we have the XG mobile port, which also hides a USB Type-C beneath, and we have an additional USB Type-C, a HDMI, and we have the power adapter as well as a headphone jack. Now keep in mind, the XG mobile port is to hook in a full-size GPU, a full-size desktop GPU to this laptop. So definitely check that out if you're interested in taking even more performance on the go with you. Now, as we look at the back side of the laptops, we have no ports for the X16. However, we have our power adapter, HDMI, and three USB Type-A's for the Legion Slim 7. Now, going ahead and opening the laptops once again, let's check out the keyboard and trackpad. As you can see, a slightly larger trackpad for the X16, and then the keyboards are definitely different. We have numpad on this Legion Slim 7i, no numpad on the X16, but that allows us to have those nice upward facing speakers with that great audio you heard just a few minutes ago. The RGB backlighting is a lot smoother, more crisp on the Legion Slim 7i. We still have RGB on the X16. It's just not as refined. It doesn't shine through as bright as compared to the Legion Slim 7i. Now the keyboards are great. They both have a medium key press, definitely easy to use, definitely quiet. They feel great on my fingers. They snap back very quickly. So I cannot say I prefer one over the other. The trackpad, you're gonna have a nice quiet muffled trackpad from the X16, a louder click from the Slim 7i. I'm gonna give you an audio sample so you can hear what they both sound like. Now, as we spin the laptops around, you can see we have webcams on the top of each. Here's a quick sample of each of those webcams in use. This is the webcam on the Asus ROG Flow X16 and a little sample of the audio for you as well. This is the webcam on the Lenovo Legion Slim 7i and a little sample of the audio for you as well. Now, speaking of the screens, we have a slightly brighter screen from the Slim 7i at 498 nits versus the X16 at 482 nits. However, you're gonna have slightly better color accuracy out of the X13 with the Delta E. We have a 0.97 Delta E from the X16 and a 1.38 from the Slim 7i. Now taking a look at the RGB, on the X16, we have 100% sRGB, 89% Adobe RGB, and 99% DCI-P3 versus the Legion, which has 100% sRGB, 99% Adobe RGB, and 79% DCI-P3. So take your pick, kind of figure out which one is better for you. The accuracy, the Delta E is going to be the accuracy at which the colors are reproduced, whereas the RGB itself is the size of range that colors that it can produce. So accuracy versus amount of colors. Now, as we go to the battery life, we have a 99.9 watt hour battery in the Slim 7i versus a 90 watt hour battery in the X16. And with that larger battery, we're seeing better battery life out of the Slim 7 this year compared to the X16. They would have been neck and neck with last year's model with the Ryzen processor. However, this year with the Intel i9 processor, the X16 was not able to optimize as much as the Slim 7i. Now keep in mind, both laptops are set to 20% screen brightness, Windows battery saver mode turned on, silent mode turned on for both laptops, as well as iGPU mode, meaning that the dedicated GPUs are not running during my battery life tests. On top of that, the screen refresh rate is set to 60 Hertz. So that's how I'm getting the battery life results that you've seen on the screen. If you're curious about the exact pricing and availability of these two laptops, you can head down in the description below and click those links. If you do make a purchase, I'll get a small commission, but at no extra cost to you. But of course, that's what keeps this channel alive and the helpful content coming your way. Now let's go ahead and flip the laptops over and talk about the upgrade path. So when it comes to the upgrade path in these two laptops, the X16 is slight advantage because it has two swappable RAM sticks. However, the Slim 7i only has one. So you only be able to upgrade one RAM stick. Now, both have two SSD slots. So you have one occupied, one unoccupied when the laptop comes in from the factory from stock configuration. So that's the same thing. However, RAM is going to take an advantage on the X16. Okay, without further ado, let's get into the performance benchmarks and see which laptop from a performance standpoint is right for you. Now, keep in mind that the X16 has 32 gigs of RAM and the Slim 7i has 16 gigs of RAM. Now, the reason there's a differentiation is because I always test laptops stock as they come in from the factory in order to not have any like special settings or configurations set up on the laptop. Now, keep in mind that when we're looking at Geekbench single core and multi-core, we're going to see slightly better performance out of the Slim 7i for both single core and multi-core. And as we move into Cinebench R23, same thing for single core and same thing for multi-core, showing a little bit better performance out of the Slim 7i. However, let's get into real world benchmarks because that's where we really see what these laptops are capable of. Inside of Photoshop, you see we're scoring a 1,143 out of the X16, where we're only scoring a 983 from the Slim 7i. Now, the main reason for that is going to be the RAM. So by having 16 gigs of RAM in the Slim 7i and 32 gigs of RAM in the X16, you're seeing that big differentiation in points for Photoshop because Photoshop loves RAM. However, if we were to upgrade this laptop to 32 gigs, we would easily be in the 1,000 or even 1,100s for the Slim 7i. So a quick RAM upgrade and you'd be on par with the performance of the X16 inside of Photoshop. Now, as we shift over to After Effects, you can see that we score an 879 on the Legion Slim 7i versus a 992. Now, upgrading the RAM will not give us as big of an increase in points inside of After Effects that we would have seen in Photoshop. But if you were to upgrade the RAM, I could see you in the low 900s, but I can't see you getting up to the high 900s from a RAM upgrade alone. So that's where the X16 is going to be a better performer inside of After Effects. Now, taking a look at Blender Classroom, X16 performing very well at 1072. And the Slim 7i, not bad right behind it at a 1026. So the RTX 4070s are performing very nicely in Blender. Autodesk 3ds Max, Autodesk Maya, and PTC Creo all neck and neck for the X16 versus the Slim 7i. Either is a great pick. Now, as we go and look at the Slim 7i, it has a slight advantage over the X16 with a 121 for SolidWorks versus the X16 at a 116. However, that is really splitting hairs. You're not going to see a huge difference. My recommendation for SolidWorks would actually be to get last year's Slim 7 AMD Advantage. That had amazing performance inside of SolidWorks. So if you're a big SolidWorks user, AMD GPUs are the way to go. Either the Asus Zephyrus G14 with the RX 6700S or the Slim 7 AMD Advantage with the RX 6800S. Fantastic laptops, and you can probably get them on a pretty good sale around this time of year. If they're still available, not sure. You'll have to find out. Check it out. Let me know. Now, the drop frames test really surprised me. I think it was probably because of the RAM. Being I had 16 gigs of RAM, the Slim 7i actually dropped 1,361 frames out of the 16,177 in the project for B-RAW. But then for red footage, it only dropped 368. However, for the Asus ROG Flow X16, 0 drop frames for B-RAW and 89 drop frames for 6K red footage. So how they come out of the factory, the X16 definitely has the better performance for playback in Premiere Pro. Now, looking at the 4K export time, 9-minute 4K clip put into Premiere Pro and export out at full quality 4K settings, you can see the X16 is doing amazing job with the export time, 2 minutes and 11 seconds versus the Slim 7i, not shabby at 2 minutes and 29 seconds, but definitely going to save you a little bit of time. However, the big difference here is going to be when we jump into the 6K export. 6K clip put in Premiere Pro, exported out at full quality 6K settings, 21 minutes and 33 seconds versus the X16 at 13 minutes and 4 seconds. So a big advantage by choosing the X16 for the export time. DaVinci Resolve X16, 3 minutes and 32 seconds versus the Slim 7i at 4 minutes and 21 seconds. It's going to save you about a minute on the export time for that 9-minute clip. I would choose the X16 if I wanted the flexibility of a 2-in-1 laptop with a touchscreen and a great upward-facing speakers. However, overall, for the actual laptop capabilities, I lean more towards the Slim 7i. I would upgrade it to 32 gigs of RAM to give me a bump in performance where I needed it, but it has everything you need and it has great performance. I love the screen, I love the trackpad, I love the build quality. Just overall, it's a more hardy laptop and it just really speaks more to my aesthetic and taste in laptops. The X16 is great. It's still one of my favorite laptops from 2023, but if I personally had to pick one, I would lean towards the Legion. Links in the description if you're ready to make a purchase, or click or tap the screen here for more videos to help you with your buying decision. I'll see you in the next one.